Welcome back to EthanLive. Today is Friday, January the 2nd. Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah.
Actually, our second live of the year because Ethan picked a new home for some hubcaps last night for the fundraiser. Um,
Yes, he did an excellent job.
yeah, because he picked because he picked you. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
Today is National Science Fiction Day, Ancestry Day, Happy New Year for Cats Day, National Buffet Day. It is important one, National Pet Travel Safety Day. So everyone that travels
Oh,
with your pets, please do it safely. That's about the fun ones for today. But we're happy to
okay.
get back into our Hero Dog um, sort of series of podcasts. And we're so happy and honored today to be joined by Maritime Enforcement Specialist First Class, Alaina Whitaker, and her dog, Canine Ultra, who is the American Humane Military Hero Dog of the Year. Doing
Ooh,
Alaina?
Thank you for having us.
that was a long mouthful. What's that?
there's, a, there's a lot going on. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it takes a little bit longer, a little bit red tape with military, and we were so hoping to be able to speak with you before we went to Florida next week. So thank you so much for coming on and joining us.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here.
Before we jump into like what you and K9 Ultra are doing, tell us a little bit about your background before you got into the military.
Yeah, so I've been in the military now for coming up on 10 years.
Oh,
Um,
goodness.
Only 3 of that has been canine, but before Coast Guard, I was a student at Indiana University of Pennsylvania studying criminology. So I always knew I wanted to go into the law enforcement field. Um, Military, honestly, was never kind of an
On
option
the
for me.
radar.
Yeah, my dad was Air Force, my brother's Army. Personally, I was like, ooh, military, hard no.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to do law enforcement. That's really all I cared about. And it wasn't until I was coming up on graduation that I was like, oh, I need a plan. So I applied to a bunch of different police departments, but I also looked into the Coast Guard because I heard that they had a wider range of law enforcement options than other branches. And that really interested me. I didn't want to do, your typical base security MP stuff. So being able to get out and actually do law enforcement domestically is what really interested me. So, like I said, been in for 10 years. Before Canine, I actually was at TACLET, so I did counter narcotic boardings. And that was so much fun, getting out there and just feeling like I was making an impact and making a difference. And then Canine kind of fell in my lap, and I got so lucky to do it and couldn't turn that down. So
Oh,
here I am.
wow.
Yeah,
There
well,
you are.
thank you for your service, and it sounds like your whole family, your dad, your brother. Uh, I read on a social media post, and if you don't mind telling the story about how you went in to the first recruiter for the Coast Guard and that experience, and sort of how that drove you to continue.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of backstory on that is when I was looking at kind of the different branches and seeing what my options were, I went into the Coast Guard and not really knowing much about it. But I went in with my mom and my dad. And I'm a daddy's girl. I always have been. And this was a big decision. I'm also very impulsive, so
Oh,
I could have
so they went with
easily
you.
I could have easily just left that recruiting office already signing on the dotted lines, not knowing anything. So I wanted to go in with my dad, who would actually ask questions that I would have never thought of, um, and kind of be the level-headed one of the group
Of
of
the
us.
group.
Yeah. So I went in, and after about 10, 15 minutes talking to the recruiter, he was basically just like, I don't think you're a fit for my Coast Guard. You're a daddy's girl. We don't need that
Oh,
here. We need, independence, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it made me
ah,
so angry. I was
oh,
just, yeah, I couldn't believe that a recruiter was saying that, because I was like,
yeah,
I thought you wanted us. Like, I thought,
yeah.
yeah. So I left there, and my dad was kind of dumbfounded and just like, that was insane. Um, Kind of took a day or two to think about it, and then I was like, I've been hard-headed my whole life, so I was just like, you know what? That made my decision for me. I'm going back and
Going back.
papers. I was like, but I want a new recruiter. And
Good
the second
for
guy was
you.
incredible. So, yeah,
Good for you.
yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. So you get into the Coast Guard, and how did the opportunity to get into K9? How did that present itself?
So K9, it's a solicitation. There are only 18 of us,
Oh,
the entire
goodness.
Coast Guard. So
Wow.
anytime there is an availability or an opening, a solicitation goes out Coast Guard wide. There's certain requirements that you have to meet to be able to put in for it. And for maybe 2 years, 3 years, I was looking at these solicitations coming out, not meeting the requirements, so I couldn't put in for it. Um,
Um,
and finally, my transfer year at my last unit, I was able to meet the requirements, kind of put my name in the hat and crossed my fingers. And I had actually extended at my prior unit. And they're like, hey, just so you know, if you get K9, you're losing out on your extension. I was like, that's
oh,
fine. I was like, I'm not getting K9. Like, it's so hard to get that I'll just get my extension and be happy here anyways. And then I got the call that I got K9. I was like,
oh,
I what? I was like, what do
yeah.
you
Yeah.
mean I got it? And they're like, yeah, you got your number one pick. And because there was two openings, one New York, one San Fran. Like, you're going
Okay.
to New York.
So you'll have to tell us. I noticed, I read a little bit in your process of getting K9. There's an interesting little parallel between you and Faye and Sergeant Bo, because she said she didn't really want Sergeant Bo, that he was like this stray, scruffy, not what she envisioned. And
Yeah.
I read that there was kind of a similar parallel with you when you got K9 Ultra. So
Yeah.
you
So
want to share?
it's funny looking back now, because I mean, she is my world. She's my baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, when I went to the school, I was like, give me the biggest, meanest looking pointy eared dog you got. And so the first 2 days, so how our class did it was, they're like, we're going to give you 3 dogs, one for each day. You're going to work with them. Kind of, we're going to evaluate how you work well with these dogs. So the first day they gave me a 90-pound German Shepherd, and I was like, this is it. This is the one. Day
Just
two,
what I was looking for.
yeah, day two, they gave me an 80-pound Belgian Mal, who's actually Bongo, the Coast Guard canine over in San Fran. Same thing, loved him. He was so cuddly, but that dog, pure muscle, dragged me around the field.
Uh,
But still, I was like, this is it. This is the one I want.
yeah.
And then day three, they gave me Ultra. And I remember just standing there, like looking at her. I was like, what are you? Like, you 50-pound German Shepherd. I was like, well, you got the pointy ears right. But I was like, I
Oh,
there she is. Yeah. Just my little nugget.
oh,
But yeah, I was like, I want a big, mean looking dog. And then they gave me the runt of the class. And uh,
oh.
but the second we started working together,
It was, it
I was like,
was
this is
meant
my
to
dog,
be.
isn't it? And they're like,
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
likely. We just worked so well together, and it just clicked. And yeah,
It's a great story, Elena. I love it.
couldn't imagine getting another dog.
Right. Right.
So then, how long do you all sort of work together before you actually take her out and you're on assignment somewhere? You're actually have her out there working for the Coast Guard.
Yeah, so it's a 3-month course in Lackland Air Force Base. And so we do all of our training there. And then we come back, do a few certifications to make sure that she's fit for the Coast Guard life. It's a lot different than regular TSA walking through airports. We got to make sure that she's okay on boats, she's okay in a helicopter, she's not going to
Oh,
freak out. So yeah,
She's okay
it's
with
not
whoa.
that.
as long as you would expect it to be, but it is pretty strenuous for these dogs.
Okay. Wow. Huh. So all kinds of experiences here, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So were
It's
you always did you always have a dog? Did you always want to be a dog, or was there something while you were in the Coast Guard that got you to lean that way?
No, I have always wanted to be a canine unit.
Mm.
Back when I was in high school, when I realized that law enforcement was kind of the path I wanted to take, I did a couple ride-alongs, one of them being with a canine unit, and I was just blown away by the fact that like what these dogs can do, and you just get
Uh-huh.
to hang out with your dog all day. And saw a couple of demos, and I was like, that is
That's
fun.
it, huh?
That's the coolest thing in the world. So yeah, I wanted to be canine ever since, probably freshman sophomore year of high school.
Oh,
Joining the Coast Guard, I kind of realized that that would likely be almost impossible to do, just because of how limited. I mean,
yeah, with only
only
18
18.
teams. Yeah.
And then also, 10 years ago, there wasn't this online presence. So there was
Yeah.
no one that I could talk to about the canine world. I was just kind of relying on the recruiters who also had never even seen a canine in the Coast Guard. So they didn't
Oh,
quite
wow.
have the same, answers that you can find today. So I was just kind of, shot in the dark. I was like, if I don't get canine, I don't get canine. It's fine. But yeah, I had German Shepherd before I joined. I had beagles growing up, so always been a dog lover. Always wanted to kind of be in this realm.
So what was Ultra trained to do? What kind of service does Ultra provide?
She's an explosive detection canine.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So that is probably taking you some interesting places.
Yeah, some really cool, really big events that I never thought that the Coast Guard even goes to.
Uh-huh.
So like earlier, I guess last year now was the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was just such an incredible experience. The year before that, we did the election cycle, so the RNC, DNC inauguration, stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
goodness, Alaina, that's really nice.
yeah, it's really cool. I actually got to drive in the vice presidential motorcade in
Oh,
the
wow.
DNC, which was an insane experience.
Yeah. See, I think we definitely have misconceptions of where the Coast Guard are. You know,
Exactly.
we think they're all out on ships. And
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah, I get that a lot. They're just like, oh, so like you just live on a boat with your dog? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
barely even go on a boat.
Well, I'm glad you're sharing with us. So now we know so much more about the Coast Guard. So that's
Yeah,
good.
How
that's
did
my
you
whole
hear?
point of having the Instagram page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love being able to go on there and see that because there's so many that so many of the military dogs and even law enforcement dogs over the last several years that we've sort of been following because they're working. They don't have social media, and so you don't see a lot of that. And so
Yeah.
I think it's really cool to get some of that, behind the scenes kind of stuff that you guys
Definitely.
do. That's really cool. How did you hear about the American Humane Hero Dog Awards?
So the past 2 years, the military category has been won by Coast Guard canines.
Oh.
So Alicia last year with
Hmm.
Canine Nikki, and
Uh-huh.
then the year before that was Chase with Canine Buddha.
Yeah.
So it's kind
Uh-huh.
of been, hey, like, why don't you put in for it this year and see what happens? And
Here
yeah,
you are.
It's very, very interesting how the world just sort of turns on one little decision. Like, hey, I'm going to put in for this canine department here in the Coast Guard. So, what was it like? as you were like during the contest, like trying to drum up some support and voting? Was that easy to do as you were traveling around, or was it more difficult?
No, it was pretty easy in the sense that, her her Instagram is pretty easy for me to take care of. I take photos all the time. It really started out with I wanted a place to archive my photos and kind of adventures with her, and it kind of spiraled into, oh, there's not a lot of people that know Coast Guard Canine exists.
Right.
And so if I can just kind of throw in some educational stuff and be like, hey, look, here's what we're doing. And it kind of grew from there. So I'm always on it. People reach out asking questions all the time, and I'm always happy to answer. So the support was kind of like organic. I just, posted in my stories or on my feed, like, hey, like you guys have been supporting me so much from the beginning that if you could just vote once
Continue.
a day, and if you
Yeah.
want to, you don't have to. I mean, but here's a link, made it easy
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. What's her Instagram? What's the page
It's
for
canine underscore ultra underscore USCG.
okay. Okay. So people
What
can
what
follow.
what
Yes.
was it like when you got the word that she won?
So funny, I was actually on a deployment going from New Orleans all the way up to Chicago for the marathon. So
Oh,
yeah, it was a long 2 week deployment.
yeah.
But I was actually at my brother's house playing with my dog in the backyard and got the call like, hey, don't tell anyone, but you guys won the military category. And I was like, don't tell anyone. I was like, I'm at my brother's house. My mom's inside. I was like, I can't tell my mom. She's going to tell everyone.
Tell the world.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was really cool to be able to like be around family when that happened and when I got the call and to be in the middle of a deployment too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was the trip to New York?
So I live
To
in
be
New
on
York.
to be on the Today Show.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Was it?
A lot of moving parts.
Okay.
I was also worried I wasn't going to be able to do it because we were in the midst of government shutdown. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
so Coast Guard was like, hey, everything media related has to be routed through, DHS. We got to get approval. Uh,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it had to go all the way to headquarters and past headquarters for me to be on the show. So I didn't get approval until the day before that I could do it.
Oh,
And so I was like, how am I going to tell them that like I can't make
wow.
it, even though I'm literally right in New York?
You could literally go down and watch the show. You just couldn't be on it.
Exactly. So
Oh,
yeah,
my
I was
gosh.
I was stressing a little bit, but I was like, just my luck. Government shut down, and this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, now that she won, has it been easier to get approval to go to West Palm?
it has been. I mean, it also helped the government reopen, so
Yeah,
people are
right.
checking their emails again.
Yeah, there you go.
um, but yeah, no, it was a lot easier. I think kind of once they understood the
Yeah,
magnitude of the event.
right.
Um, But I mean, also, we have a lot of our unit that's typically patrolling out in Mar-Lago anyways. So I
Oh,
was like, I'll just go down with them.
I'll
Like,
just
I'll be
yeah.
there.
slide in with those folks.
Exactly.
Huh.
So, what kind of things does Ultra like to do when she's not working?
Just play fetch. That is
Oh, that's her thing, huh?
Yep, that is her whole life is her ball. And it's nonstop. It's even when it's nap time, she's like, here's the ball. Want to throw
Uh,
it? It's like, no, no, no. Ball's going in
okay.
hiding.
Okay, so we may see some fetch going on in West Palm, huh?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. She doesn't go anywhere without that ball.
Oh, okay. So you all excited for the whole gala and the whole event down there?
I am. I mean, this is my first time doing anything like this. So
Uh-huh.
a bunch of my family and my command and other handler friends are coming too. So I'm really excited to, share this with them.
Yeah, there's usually, Jeff, isn't there usually pretty good military presence at the ones that we've attended.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
good about
Probably
supporting
probably
the
some extra military presence at this one.
probably
I would assume so.
Just throwing it out there.
might be
But
a
yeah,
lot of Coast Guard down there.
we've gone the last 3 years, and it's generally a lot of fun. I love
Yeah.
that they do this Hero Dog Awards, and they recognize these dogs from so many different backgrounds that are doing so many cool things. Like a dog that does detection like Ultra does, and then you got Harrison does electronics detection. I mean, some of these
Uh-huh.
things that they train these dogs to do is just blows my mind.
Right.
Electronics blows my mind. Like,
Yeah.
how are you not just sniffing out the cell phone in my pocket?
Right.
I
Well,
don't
that
get it.
yeah. We're gonna
It's
have to get
incredible.
we're gonna have to get Doug to explain that to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time they try to explain it to me, I'm like, I still don't get it.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get some more information then from Doug. We'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
see.
So we're totally looking forward to the gala. We're hoping to get some folks together like the night before. If you guys don't have anything already planned, maybe there at the hotel, and just I know there's at least 3 to 4 former Hero Dolls coming. So Ethan will be there. Maverick is coming. Bo from last year is coming, and Penny from last
Penny.
year, who was
Yeah.
the shelter hero dog from
Lindsay.
last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've sort of started try to create a hero dog alumni group that we sort of try to stay in touch with one another, and depending upon if folks can come, what their schedules are, try to get as many former dogs back to hero dogs, because the very cool thing about hero dogs to me is the dogs that, whether they're nominated, they're semifinalists, or they're finalists, they're already doing some really, really cool things in whatever field that they're in. And this just is like another step up that they can use to help them in what they're doing. And those dogs, when they leave Hero Dog Awards, they don't just stop what they're doing. In most cases, they start to do even more, and it
More.
opens even
Yeah.
more doors for them. So I like
Hmm.
to try to keep the alumni group sort of together, and try to bring back as many as we can.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm totally down to get together.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So that'll be fun. So we see. I think we get down on Wednesday, but yeah, I think we're going to try and get some folks together on Thursday. Do you know if you all have any like media obligations while you're down there?
Most of our media obligations are in the morning. So
Oh,
typically
okay.
we have afternoons free.
Okay,
Okay.
very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. And
Okay.
has Ultra been to? Has she spent any time on the beach? I've seen her in boats and helicopters. Does she like the beach?
Yeah, she loves the beach. She loves looking for shells or rocks that she can put in her mouth and
And she takes her ball and she goes to play fetch.
yeah, no, she loves the water, she loves the beach and yeah.
Okay. Well, she's going
Sounds
to the right place.
Sounds sounds very cool. Well, Alaina, thank you so much for getting back with us and joining us today. I'm happy that you got word back from the military, and we were able to talk to you before we got down to Florida, and can't wait to meet all of this year's group. You guys got to meet in New York, so we're looking forward to meeting everybody, and even the former dogs that will be there. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. I'm happy that I was able to make it on. Look forward to see you guys next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and make sure. Thank you for your service again. Tell your family member, your
Definitely.
brother, your dad. Thank you for their service. We really appreciate it. Happy New Year to everybody, and we will see you guys. One last announcement. Probably just sprung this on you last night, Debbie. We've got court on Monday.
Uh-huh.
But Tuesday, I'd like to do like a 2025 recap podcast that I think folks will enjoy. We'll just go down starting in January from last year and go down and talk about everything that sort of happened. So we'll
Going
get a
down
time,
memory lane.
memory lane, and then put it behind us. Yep. So
Yeah,
anyway,
there
we'll
you
do that on
go.
Tuesday. Thanks, Alaina, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank
We'll
you,
see you next week in
Alaina.
Florida.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.